penicillins and you can call me in the morning.
Places you don't talk about at parties. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Keep this frequency clear.
And now it's conspiracy. See, they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute. That powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff.
You're watching The Truth is Viral, the only news program on the internet trusted to deliver the truth since 2008. And now, here's your host, Mr. Bobby Powell.
Welcome back to The Truth is Viral, folks. My name is Bob Powell, and we're going to have some fun tonight. That's right. Let's see, what do we got on tap? We're going to first talk about the ACLU, because I interviewed an ACLU lawyer, and he has a stunning and shocking, and it will totally blow your mind statement about the true legacy of Barack Hussein Obama. He says that it is one of absolute tyranny. This is coming from the ACLU, folks. So while the left is losing their ever-loving minds, while Hollywood banshees and ordinary snowflakes are screaming at the top of their lungs over the tweets of President Donald Trump, they forget that he has not ordered the murder of 3 American citizens who had not been charged with a crime. Barack Obama did that. And we'll also talk about what's going on down in Bundyville, down in Bunkerville, Nevada, and up in Oregon. We'll catch the latest on that. And we're going to talk about Loretta Lynch and her recent call for blood in the streets, and a little bit of entertainment for you. Based Stick Man, the guy that took his flagpole at Berkeley University during the recent Trump rally and defended himself as any good American should. He's been arrested and charged with assault and various other things, but there's a bit of hope to this story, because what happened next is going to be uplifting for you. So why don't we just get started? Hey, Jesus Christ saves. That is an absolutely powerful statement. Great screen name, too. Welcome aboard. Alrighty. Okay. Now, first of all, I want to tell you that I've been trying to get down to the Bundy Ranch so that I can cover Pete's trial and the trial of the Bundys, Ammon and Ryan and Cliven. And YouTube's not been making it easy for me. And this is really not good, because in the last week they have demonetized 16 of my videos. It started when I called out the FBI for not releasing a report saying why the FBI snipers shot at Lavoy Finicum and then lied to Oregon State investigators about taking those shots. And since then, a whole litany of my videos. Some of them are years old. Some of them are years and years old. They've been up there for a long time, and all of a sudden now they're not advertiser friendly. So I am absolutely under attack. I wouldn't be surprised if I woke up tomorrow morning and my YouTube channel is gone. So I need to ask you folks to help me. I need you to donate whatever you can towards my trip to Nevada, and you can do that by going to bobpowell.blogspot.com, hitting that PayPal button, and donating whatever won't put you out towards our mission of saving lives and winning souls for Jesus Christ in these very last days, because I cannot do it alone. I can I never got into this for the money in the first place. I would be perfectly content sitting on my couch and watching Star Trek reruns, playing with my grandson, and taking my kids out to fish and shoot and hunt. But in order to produce this program, folks, it does take money. I spent over $5,000 last year putting this show on the air, and I'm still $4,000 in debt. So I could use your help, and hopefully if I can get some donations rolling in, then I can get my own servers and get my own website, and I won't have to depend on YouTube and for monetizing my videos, because they've got it in for me, and it's not right. But anyway, let's get on with tonight's show. We're going to talk about Nate Wessler. Nate Wessler was a lawyer on the National Security Project for the ACLU. And after Anwar al-Alawki and Samir Khan were killed, and al-Awlaki's 16-year-old son, who was killed in a drone strike 2 weeks after, I spoke to Nate, and he had some shocking things to say. Because, folks, I'm here to tell you, Anwar al-Awlaki was not a nice man. He was a scumbag. And if he had been charged and tried and found guilty in a court of law, I would have been happy to punch his ticket myself. Just let me use my son's Xbox so I can fly a little drone, and I'll whack that son of a bitch. But the problem is, my problem with this is that it is totally against the law. Barack Obama, over this wiretapping thing, his spokesman says the Barack Obama doesn't have the authority to issue a wiretap on President Trump. Well, he didn't have the authority to murder an American citizen who hadn't been charged with a crime either, but he did it anyway, didn't he? That's a frightening power when you think about it. It's completely illegal, absolutely unconstitutional. According to the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Now, the phrase no person is very unambiguous. No person. It doesn't say maybe this person if we think he's a bad guy, maybe that person if somebody says he's a terrorist. It says no person, period. It was using these same rules. I won't call them laws because they're rules. That the federal government ordered the assassination of Robert Lavoie Finicum. I told you, it was going to start off with a scumbag like al-Awlaki, then one day a patriot would be killed using the same rationale. And that's exactly what happened that day, January 26, 2015, or 2016, when Robert Lavoie Finicum was killed. It was just wrong. And Rand Paul, Senator Rand Paul, senator from Kentucky, stood up in front of Congress, and he said the same thing. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
I rise today in opposition to the killing of American citizens without trials. I rise today to oppose the nomination of anyone who would argue that the president has the power to kill an American citizen not involved in combat and without a trial. I rise today to say that there is no legal precedent for killing American citizens not involved in combat, and that any nominee who rubber stamps and grants such power to a president is not worthy of being placed one step away from the Supreme Court. The Bill of Rights is especially for unpopular people and unpopular ideas and unpopular religions. It is easy to argue for trials for prom queens. It is easy to argue for trials for the high school quarterback or the American Idol winner. It is hard to argue for trials for traitors and for people who would wish to harm our fellow Americans. But a mature freedom defends the defenseless, allows trials for the guilty, protects even speech of the most despicable nature. As our soldiers began to return from Afghanistan, I asked them to explain in their own words what they had fought for. And to a soldier, they would tell me they fought for the American way. They fought to defend the Constitution, and they fought for our Bill of Rights. I think it's a disservice to their sacrifice not to have an open and full-throated public debate about whether an American citizen should get a trial before they are killed. Realize that during the Bush years, most of President Obama's party, including the president himself, argued against the detention, not the killing. They argued against the detention of American citizens without a trial. Yet now, the president and the vast majority of his party will vote for a nominee that advocates the killing of American citizens without trial. How far have we come? How far have we gone? We were once talking about detaining American citizens and objecting that they would get no accusation and no trial. Now we are condoning killing American citizens without a trial.
And might help if I turn my microphone back on. Yeah. Well, in my exclusive interview with Nate Wessler, he was an ACLU attorney that was at the time suing the Obama administration over the murders of Anwar al-Alawki, Samir Khan, and al-Awlaki's 16-year-old son, Abdulrahman, who had never done a thing to anybody. He was killed 2 weeks after his father, by the way, in a drone strike that the Obama administration calls a mistake. I don't think it was a mistake at all. I just think that Barack Obama didn't want Anwar or Abdulrahman al-Awlaki growing up and coming after his head. That's what I think went wrong. And Nate Wessler told me that the Obama administration was lawless. He said that Barack Obama and those working for him had assumed the duties of judge, jury, and executioner all by themselves.
So if the government in fact had information that Anwar al-Awlaki was engaged in actual activity that was likely to lead to the deaths of U.S. citizens or others, or that he actually had engaged in that activity, then that should furnish the government with grounds to go to court, seek an indictment, charge him, and proceed to trial. And there are lots of examples in recent years and in the further past of successful prosecutions against people accused of terrorism. And really, without more information from the government, it's impossible to know what kind of evidence they had. If they had to go to court, they would have to produce evidence to the judge or the jury, prove their case, and then a verdict would be issued. Here, the government, the president, and those working for him seem to have taken on the duty of judge, jury, and executioner all by themselves.
Okay, now, folks, what I've got here is a copy of the Federalist Papers. This is a selection of writings by our founding fathers. And in Federalist Paper number 47, James Madison writes, "No political truth is certainly of greater intrinsic value, or is stamped with the authority of more enlightened patrons of liberty than that on which the objection is founded. The accumulation of all powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary, in the same hands, whether of one, a few, or many, and whether hereditary, self-appointed, or elective, may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny." Think about that. The very definition of tyranny. Now, when Barack Obama took it upon himself to illegally kill an American citizen, that day, September 30th, 2011, he became a tyrant. And that is his true legacy. Now, Ron Paul had something to say about that because first I want to go over Eric Holder's white paper. This was an opinion that he published as the Attorney General that said that Barack Obama could use this power to kill an American citizen who had never been charged with a crime inside the United States, far away from any battlefield. Holder stated that it is possible, I suppose, to imagine an extraordinary circumstance in which it would be necessary and appropriate under the Constitution and applicable laws of the United States for the President to authorize the military to use lethal force within the territory of the United States. Do you have any idea how scary that is, folks? to kill. We're not talking about on some faraway battlefield now. We're talking about inside the United States, and not a Jack Bauer moment either. Okay, when you've got a terrorist with a nuclear bomb that's driving into New York City. Well, I'd want that guy drone strike too, and explain it later. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. Anwar al-Alawki had been under CIA surveillance for 8 weeks. 8 weeks before Obama decided to pull the trigger. They knew exactly where he was. They could have gone in and captured him, brought him back to Gitmo, interrogated him, and he would have been a fountain of information. But Obama didn't want that because why? Anwar al-Alawki had at one time been a CIA asset. He'd actually been hosted at the Pentagon as a moderate Muslim, somebody that they could deal with. But then he outlived his usefulness, and they took him out. Okay, but now Rand Paul has something to say about this awesome power that Obama had granted himself to kill an American citizen inside the United States. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
Senator Wyden asked Brennan this in the committee hearing. He says, can you kill an American on American soil with a drone without a judicial hearing? And Brennan didn't answer the questions. We've asked it in writing. My understanding is Senator Wyden has asked this in writing, and we don't have an answer. So if you're not going to answer no, I think that means you're essentially telling us, yes, you believe that the president has the power to kill an American in America. That is appalling.
You know, it's beyond appalling. It's criminal. Barack Obama murdered that man because he had no legislative oversight, no judicial review whatsoever. He just made up his own rules and killed him. And it was under those rules that Lavoy Finicum was killed. And it's just not right. And it is something that has to be addressed. One of these days, I think I'll make a video, send it to President Trump. I doubt he'll ever see it. You never know, though. I want to ask him, do you intend to maintain that power? Because if that law, that rule, is still on the books. If Donald Trump wants to be a law and order president, I would expect, at the very least, that if a person is accused of a crime, they get their time in front of a judge, in front of a jury. And, you know, as Nate Wessler said, Article 3 courts are there for a reason. But Obama didn't even take his evidence to a FISA court to get the authority to kill al-Alawki. He just did it himself. And speaking of FISA courts, how do you like this stuff? Donald Trump tweeting out that Obama had bugged his office, and mainstream media is pulling their hair out because it goes against their narrative, basically. I mean, you ought to see Jake Tapper. He's going. Okay, that was a little bit of a joke. But yeah, this information's been out there for a while. McClatchy, D.C. Bureau, reported it on January 18th. They said that there was a wiretap. And the New York Times reported it on January 20th, saying wiretap data used in inquiry of Trump aides. And then they changed their headline. Check this out. Same story, different headline. Intercepted Russian communications, part of inquiry into Trump associates. So now they're saying, oh, well, no, there wasn't no wiretap. Nope, no wiretap at all. Okay, and it gets even better, folks, because, you know, where do we go? There we go. Oh, yeah, Hillary Clinton on October 31st, Halloween Day 2016, tweeted out that computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump organization to a Russian-based bank. And her senior policy advisor, Jake Sullivan, released the following statement right after that. This could be the most direct link yet between Donald Trump and Moscow. Computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump organization to a Russian-based bank. This secret hotline may be the key to unlocking the mystery of Trump's ties to Russia. It certainly seems the Trump organization felt it had something to hide, given that it apparently took the steps to conceal the link when it was discovered by journalists. Well, isn't that special? And John McCain also knew about it. This was published on February 21st on True Pundit. And so he knew about it. You know that John McCain's dirty, Lindsey Graham, both of them. They wanted to start World War III in Syria just like Hillary Clinton did. And they hate Donald Trump. So, yeah, all these guys, these deep state guys, the ones that have been in Congress forever, know all about this. So they're trying to cover their butts, and it's not going to work. I don't think we should let it work. I don't think we should allow them to sweep this under the rug. So you've got to keep on sharing these stories on Facebook, on Twitter, wherever you go, and get the information out there, because I can't do it all by myself. And, you know, if you want to share the truth is viral, please feel free to go ahead and do that, because I'm telling you, I need all the help I can get. Okay, now, Loretta Lynch. You've seen the violence that's been on TV recently, right? Ever since the election of Donald Trump, really. These Antifa, they call themselves Antifa, anti-fascist groups. And what they really are, folks, is communists. And they're being supplied and funded by George Soros, and Obama's organizing for America. You know, they're all tied in together. Obama's given billions, that story came out the other day, billions of dollars through the Justice Department to these groups. Because, remember, he said he wanted a civilian army that was equally as powerful as the U.S. military. Well, I don't think Antifa is quite that powerful. But they are his army. They are his foot soldiers, his brown shirts, so to speak, or black shirts. And they're out there causing trouble on his behalf, and we can't allow that to happen. And former Attorney General Loretta Lynch is egging it on. Let's look at what she had to say here recently.
I know that this is a time of great fear and uncertainty for so many people. I know it's a time of concern for people who see our rights being assailed, being trampled on, and even being rolled back. I know that this is difficult, but I remind you that this has never been easy. We have always had to work to move this country forward to achieve the great ideals of our founding fathers. And it has been people, individuals who have banded together, ordinary people who simply saw what needed to be done and came together and supported those ideals, who have made the difference. They've marched, they've bled. Yes, some of them have died. This is hard. Every good thing is. We have done this before, we can do this again.
Yeah, well, calling for blood in the streets isn't a very good idea, Miss Lynch. And, people are starting to get fed up with it. They go to a rally for Donald Trump, and they're attacked. This happened all throughout the campaign, and it's happening now as well. And one fella by the name of Kyle Chapman got fed up with it, and he went to a Trump rally. He had an American flag on a flagpole, and the violence started, and he began to defend himself. Check this out. This is awesome. Go, Kyle, go! Looks like Captain America going to war. Check out that battle gear. Boom! Boom! That's a based stick man. His name's Kyle Chapman. And he's been arrested. And this lawyer by the name of Mike Cernovich over on, you can find him on Twitter. He's one of the new voices out there. He put this out there earlier this evening that over $25,000 had been raised in a legal defense fund for based stickman. Well, check this out, folks. A few hours later, $35,000 raised for the legal fund for Base Stickman. It says political prisoner Kyle Chapman, who the internet is calling Base Stickman, was unlawfully arrested for defending himself and others against a well-funded, well-organized domestic terrorist group. Proving Berkeley is a fascist state, none of the men who pepper-sprayed several women were arrested, but those who defended themselves and others from terrorists will find themselves in legal trouble. Crowdfunding website RebSearcher began collecting funds for Chapman's legal defense, and after only a few hours, $35,000 had been raised, enough to get Chapman out of jail and enough to secure a lawyer. So I wish that man good luck, and he's going to need it, because Berkeley is not known as a hotbed of conservative values or even lawful values. I've seen lots of video that, what's her name? Falarka is her last name. Heidi, I think is her first name. She's got to be really pissed off because that's the whitest name I've ever heard. Maybe that's what her problem is. She's mad at her parents for naming her Heidi. But yeah, Loretta Lynch needs to chill out. And I'll tell you why. She did not think this through. Because while the left has been raising their children to appreciate the value of dildos and bongs, the right, the conservatives, the patriots have been teaching their children how to fight.
Oh, he's got a laser on that? Yeah.
That's a 45. That's a beast of a weapon.
So you don't even have to use I love it.
Little tannerite fun.
Oh, shit.
I love to make things
Yeah, all
go
you gotta do
boom.
is keep a hump going.
It works!
Look at that log.
Yes!
Nice.
Hit the chest. Oh, you're just doing zombie kills. Yeah, so while the left is teaching their little snowflakes how to run and hide in their safe spaces, we're sitting back here having fun. This is what we do. We go out on the weekends with our friends and our neighbors and our children, and we train. So, Miss Lynch, better think about what you wish for. I'm sure that, like most law-abiding citizens, we're going to allow law enforcement to take care of it. But if law enforcement isn't around, well, we're bound and determined to protect ourselves. And we don't want to hurt anybody. But I'll be damned if I'm going to let some Antifa asshole come at me with whatever kind of weapon he might have and take my life just because I'm out expressing my opinion. So, yeah, be careful what you wish for. So, and right on the other side of this commercial break coming up, we are going to talk about what happened up in Oregon and down in Nevada at the Bundy trial. So stay tuned.
I'm Pete Santilli, and you're watching The Truth is Viral.
Do not click away. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
So yeah, I need you folks to go to the Truth is Viral's webpage at bobpowell.blogspot.com and donate whatever won't put you out towards our mission of saving lives and winning souls for Jesus Christ in these very last days. And one life that I want to save in particular is that of my brother, Marine, and fellow journalist, Peter T. Santilli. That man has been in prison for over 14 months awaiting trial. That's unconscionable. They dropped the charges against him the day before he was supposed to go on trial in Oregon, and then they transferred him to Nevada to face the same charges. This is just unreasonable. Murderers get bail. And all Pete did was live stream events as they happened. He gave us news that they, whoever they may be, a conglomerate of Harry Reid, Hillary Clinton, and Loretta Lynch, and Barack Obama, and all these various other scumbags. But they didn't want you to know. This is an assault, not only on innocent ranchers who are just defending their homes. It's an assault on the First Amendment. The BLM put up a First Amendment zone down at the Bundy Ranch, a little fenced-in area miles away from where the action was happening. Well, that didn't last very long, did it? No, it didn't. But because people were exercising their First Amendment rights and backing them up with their Second Amendment rights, the government don't like that. Hopefully we can get Donald Trump or his new Interior Secretary to do something about that. And I'm going to see what I can do to make that happen. I need your help. I need to be there. I need to get my boots on the ground so that I can put the fear of God into these scumbags. I've taken down one assistant district attorney. I've taken down a United States congressman with my reporting. Send me to Nevada, and I'll take somebody else down. You watch, see if I don't. But let's go on to see what happened in Oregon today. According to Oregon Live, Maxine Bernstein, this is the most important part. The last defense witnesses were called today, and this is what Stanley Cooper Hicks' father said. Hicks said that his son had never suffered any abuse, as Cooper had told jurors late last month. Hicks said that he'd been in contact with his son until late in the fall of 2015. He said about Blaine Cooper, his own son, he's prone to lie when it serves his purposes. 4 defendants have pleaded not guilty to conspiring to impede federal employees from carrying out their work at the Federal Wildlife Refuge in eastern Oregon. 3 of the 4 were charged with possessing firearms at a federal facility. And by the way, firearms are allowed at the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge. So that charge makes no sense at all. And let's see here. Okay. Next, let's go on to Nevada. And this is coming to us from Readout News. Federal agents were told to stand down in Bunkerville. This is trial testimony. Law enforcement officers were ordered by the federal special agent in charge to cease all operations hours before an armed standoff at a Nevada ranch. The Bundy Ranch reached its tension-filled zenith in 2014, but they did not. 3 law enforcement officers testified in federal court Thursday that they maintained their positions throughout the night and into the next day, anticipating a bloody gunfight at Bundy Ranch. None of the officers explained in court why they were ordered to engage anti-government protesters and open fire with less than lethal weapons after being told to stand down at least twice, abandon their efforts to round up private cattle on federal land, and leave. This was one of the first times that law enforcement officials have publicly acknowledged the government's orders to back down, drawing attention to a little-known detail about the high-profile confrontation. The 6-day standoff reached a climax on April 12, 2014, as hundreds of protesters formed a line across a wash near I-15, about 80 miles north of Las Vegas. Armed men took up positions on the overpass, sighting their rifles at federal agents below. And I would like to point out that that is conjecture. Unless you were actually looking through the scope of one of those riflemen, how would you know what they were looking at? So here's the thing about it, though, folks. These 6 men in this first trial in Nevada, from Arizona, Idaho, and Oklahoma, are the first of 17 defendants to go on trial on charges stemming from the Bundy Ranch standoff. Although federal prosecutors designated them as the least culpable, the defendants face identical charges and could spend the rest of their lives in prison if convicted. I don't think that we want to see these men in prison for the rest of their lives, folks. I know I don't. I wasn't really too hot on the idea of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge occupation. No, that's not a secret. Because to my mind, when you go somewhere else and take a stand, as these men did, uninvited, then you become the aggressor. But even if they were right, the perception that they generated is not a good one. But down in Bunkerville, at their home, when the Bureau of Land Management came onto their property, started throwing women around, tasing Ammon Bundy, or was it Ryan Bundy? Well, one of them was tased, and sticking dogs on these protesters who were just protecting their homes. I'm fully behind what they did in Bunkerville, because they were only protecting their homes, their property, their livelihood. They'd been on that ranch since the late 1800s. And they didn't see any reason to move just because Harry Reid wanted to put or sell the land next to him to the Chinese so that they could develop a solar energy plant. But in any case, what's going on in Nevada is wrong. And I need your help to get down there. So please, I want you to keep me in your prayers. That's the number one, first and foremost. I can't lose this YouTube channel. And that's the way it's looking like they're going. They've demonetized 16 of my videos in the last few days. They are trying to send a message to me subtly that says, if you say things that you're not supposed to say, well, we'll take away your ability to make a living. Well, they can do whatever they want. It's their platform. My lawyer might have a thing or two to say about it, but I'd really rather not go that route, because it's just a pain in my butt that I don't need. So form a hedge of protection around me and my family. Pray YouTube away. Get them off my back. And pray for the safety of the Bundys and for Pete and for me. I would really appreciate that, because I'd like to go on living for a long time, and because my mission is far from over. There are people out there that need help, and the way I lived the first part of my life, I wasn't helping anybody but myself. I'll be honest with you. I was just out there having fun. I was spinning tunes in clubs and DJing and just partying and having a great old time, and not thinking about anybody but myself. I didn't even give God a second thought. For like 20 years, I don't think I said a single prayer. That all changed when my daughter died in 2013, because I did not share the gospel with her. She died unsaved. I tried to bring up the subject a couple of times I'd tell her, honey, let me talk to you about Christ and what he's done for you. And she'd look at me with those great big beautiful eyes, and she'd say, "Oh, Daddy, I don't believe in that." Well, I thought that I would always have plenty of time to bring her to Christ. I couldn't have been more wrong. She was only 24 when she died of a heart attack. One day she was here. 1 second later, she's gone. And that's on me. So I went to South Carolina and I retrieved her ashes, and the moment I got home, I raised those ashes up to the sky and I swore to her and to Almighty God that never again would I be silent for fear of ridicule or what people may think of me. Jesus Christ is my Master, my Lord and Savior. He is yours too. He's holding his arms wide open, waiting for you patiently, standing at the door of your heart and knocking. See, unlike Muslims' God, Allah, our Father doesn't want you to convert or die. Our God wants you to want to come to him. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to particularly rag on people. I'm not going to tell people, if you don't believe in Christ, you're going to hell, because that kind of stuff just pushes people away. What I like to do is just live a Christian life and let other people see it and bring them into the salvation that's freely offered by the Son of the living God. If you haven't made your decision to follow Jesus Christ today, folks, I want you to get on your knees and pray. You don't have to know any fancy prayers. God doesn't care about that. What you have to do is be sincerely sorry for your sins. And you just tell God, I'm sorry, I'm a sinner. Save me. And he will. And you'll have peace in your heart after that, I guarantee it. No matter what they throw at you, no matter what comes your way, no matter what trials or tribulations may pop up, you'll get over them. It's true. That's the good news. Salvation is free for the asking. Now I want to go to Nevada and help my brothers, my friends. And the only way I can do that is for you to help by going to bobpowell.blogspot.com, hitting that PayPal button, and donating towards my mission to save lives and win souls for Jesus Christ. Next stop, Bunkerville. One at a time, folks. It's the only way it's going to happen. Because I don't have the $1 million ministry. I don't have the kind of operation that Alex Jones has. He lost a certain advertiser or a company that feeds ads to his site, and it cost him $3 million, he said. My gosh, what I could do with $3 million, what I could do with $30,000, what I could do with $3,000. It doesn't take much if you just got a little bit, $5 a month. $5 a month. That's not even a cup of coffee a day. If you don't have PayPal or MasterCard, you can send your donations, check your money order to Post Office Box 91, Alpena, Michigan, 49707. And I give you my word that I will be a good steward of your money. I won't waste it. I will use it to save these folks and do my job of bringing you the truth to the best of my ability. So let's go to the comments over here and see what everybody's got to say. Okay, hey Mrs. B, how you doing? Drain the swamp. Yeah, drain the swamp. It's Sandy Banks. Praying every day. Love it. Love it. Not a whole lot of comments yet. Well, that's okay. It'll feed. It'll feed. I guess that's all I got. I'd like to thank everybody for watching The Truth is Viral. My name is Bob Powell, and until next time, as always, God bless, Semper Fi, and hoorah. Let's close out this show.
Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral with your host, Bobby Powell. Make sure to follow The Apocalypse on Twitter at The Truth is Viral. Like The Truth is Viral on Facebook, and if you can, please remember to donate to the cause via PayPal at www.bobpowell.blogspot.com.